planes, trains, and automobiles, all right? Wherever this woke ideology goes, wherever they go, wherever these Democrats go, wherever the wokeness goes, the Great Reset, the elites, wherever the Davos crowd goes around the world, even in places where crime doesn't usually happen very often, wherever they go, wherever they say they're going to make things better, whenever they say we're going to improve the quality of life for people, you need to run. Because wherever the woke ideology goes, wherever CRT goes, degeneration, crime, destruction follow. All right? The general public's become desensitized to horrible things, to criminal activity. Criminals are emboldened. Wake up. That is the point. That is the whole point of this segment. You need to wake up. You need to wake people up. They need to see that the way we're living now, whether it's due to technology, social media, Marxism, the big tech oligarchs, mainstream media, I wouldn't even call them that. I'd call them corporate sponsored media. Whatever it is, government, state-run media at this point, whatever it is that is happening, the combination of whichever way, left, right, up, or down, it has desensitized average, everyday people. The world's going crazy. There's international pressure towards this degeneration. The only way to bring forth the Great Reset, as the Davos elites like to say, it is by owning nothing and being happy. And how do you own nothing and be happy? You destroy everything, or you take everything away from those who have and you give it to those who don't. Equity, right? You rob from the rich and give to the poor. But unfortunately, the Great Reset robs from everybody except a select few elites. That's the plan, right? Except the select few, the owl effigy burning Davos crowd, the billionaires out there, and I'm sure there's trillionaires out there, the secret trillionaires, the folks in the black suit jackets smoking the cigarettes, running the show, running the world. They're profiting. This is how the elite stay elite forever and the entire world becomes slaves. And it's all done through a neo-Marxist woke ideology, all right? And CRT follows the same thing, but we'll get into that later because they don't necessarily mix as good with each other as people think. But it's spread. It's spread through social media. I want you to think about this. Think about back in the day. Think about when we didn't have phones, iPhones, social media, all this stuff. This stuff would have fizzled out because by the time it got from California to New York to Florida to Texas to Oklahoma to Japan, it would be 10 years. We used to have to wait for the newspaper. We used to watch the news once a day. That wasn't very long ago. So why wouldn't something turn out to be poison? Why couldn't something turn out to be society-ending poison without us even realizing it because we're too busy staring at a box? This isn't just the United States of America. This isn't just England or Europe or Australia. This is the entire world. The entire world. It's almost as if it was planned. I wonder. We're seeing an absence of morality all over. We're seeing it happen in places we would have never expected. Disturbing crimes. We've got one on a train. Look at Japan. Japan, right? You didn't expect me to say Japan. I love Japan. All right. I've spent time in Japan. I've done work in Japan. I've spent time in Yokosuka. I've been to Tokyo. I land in Narita. You go on the train. You go all over and have a great time. Japan is a magical place if you've never been there. If you've never been there, I recommend it, but I don't necessarily recommend it now. I don't recommend taking the train in Japan when you've got a man on Halloween dressed as the Joker stabbing 17 people on a Tokyo train. He stabbed 17 people. He stabbed, stabbed 17 people on a train. And he's the worst stabber ever because there's 17 alive people. Thank God. I'm not trying to make a joke. Well, I'm making a joke, but I'm not trying to discount the fact that they all got stabbed. Being stabbed sucks. And I don't wish being stabbed upon anybody, especially by a dumb individual dressed as the Joker, on a train in Tokyo, stabbing people. He injured 17 people on their way to Halloween parties in Shinjuku. I've been to Shinjuku. Shinjuku is an interesting area. This guy, he also set a small fire. He stabbed 17 people, and so that's how much they were not expecting anyone to stab anybody on a train in Japan. 17 people. That's also, a testament to how little stabbings happen. Because where's this guy going to get practice, right? Where's he going to learn? There's no news stories. There's no other criminals out there stabbing people on trains all the time. There's no manual how to successfully stab 17 people on the train dressed as Joker. So he's trying to set a trend there. And he didn't do a very good job. Thankfully, he didn't do a very good job, though. There is a man in his 60s. There's a couple people, 2 or 3, in serious condition, but they seem that they're going to be doing okay. It looks in here like they're going to be doing okay. It says that there's one in crucial condition. The man in his 60s, he's in crucial condition. All right, that's not good. I don't recommend stabbing anybody. And now I really don't recommend being on a train in Tokyo. It says the suspect wore glasses and a green shirt. Otherwise, he dressed in the Joker's signature purple suit. A video posted to social media showed the man sitting alone in a train car, legs crossed, smoking a cigarette. And don't be too surprised. Don't be too surprised that he was sitting there smoking a cigarette. You're allowed to smoke cigarettes on trains in Japan. You'd be surprised where you can smoke a cigarette in Japan. You'd be surprised where I've smoked cigarettes in Japan, though I did quit smoking 3 years ago. But strangely enough, I don't know if you get this. You got to tell me. I quit smoking 3 years ago, March 8th. All right. So March 8th, what? 2019? Yeah, 2019. So over 3 years ago. I still get cigarette cravings. How many of you still get cigarette cravings? Don't worry, this isn't going to turn into an ad. I don't have any sponsors on here right now. So I'm curious. I still get them. Sometimes they're super strong. Sometimes I just want to run outside and smoke a whole pack of Camel Crush. But I'm not going to do that. I made my wife a promise. I told my wife that when our child was in her belly, when she got pregnant, I would never smoke a cigarette again. And I've lived up to that promise. That's how I tricked myself. I don't break my promises. I'm a man of my word. So I made a promise to my wife. And when I made a promise to my wife, I was able to keep that promise because I knew the consequences of smoking a cigarette were much worse than the benefit of smoking a cigarette. And any young guys listening to this advice, I would suggest that you take that advice. Take that advice, my friend. It fits right into the category of happy wife, happy life. You definitely need to keep the woman's happy. But this is crazy. This is crazy what's happening. Japan, of all places, Japan, of all places. I just told you need to keep the women happy. But keeping the women happy is one thing. What if you can't protect them? All right. What if you can't protect them? You would think that one of the safest places you could be would be on a plane or a train or in a car or on a bus. There's people, right? There's people everywhere. There's people. So they should do something. Nothing will happen in the broad daylight. It's not like a suspect would sit on a bus in New York City and expose himself to a little 9-year-old girl or a 28, 29, 30-year-old woman. He wouldn't pleasure himself and run off the bus without anybody doing anything. That wouldn't happen at all. That would almost be like Cuomo used to run the place and de Blasio was there. Like they defunded the police and New York is turning into a trash-infested, hell-written cesspool. That couldn't happen at all. Could it? Oh, where'd this come from? Police. Suspect exposes himself to 9-year-old girl on New York City bus. Yeah, come on. You know you saw that one coming. A man, I wouldn't call him a man. I'd call him a POS. I would call him a dead man if he did that to my kid. A man allegedly exposed himself, to a little girl and a woman on a bus in the Bronx on Friday. I'm a dad. oh my, the feeling in my stomach when I think of somebody doing this to my little girls turns my stomach. It makes me physically ill. I feel my blood boiling. I feel rage boiling up into my face. And I want to take that person and, like Game of Thrones, stick my thumbs and pop their skull. And that's what all of these parents are feeling across the country. No, that would have been a good segue. That's not the segue. We're still on planes, trains, and automobiles. But I'm legitimately angry. I'm angry. What is wrong with people? What's wrong with people? This guy boarded the bus, 5:05 p.m. He saw this 9-year-old girl, this 28-year-old woman. He pulled out his wanker. He touched himself in a sexual manner and then, fled off the bus. I imagine him leaping off like a fairy, you know? I bet you if while he was leaping off the bus, a car coming by just clipped him and just took his head off. I bet you when he fell down or kind of tumbled down or whatever it is, however you fall, whatever sound effect that merits after after a car takes your head off trying to get off a bus. I bet you if somebody grabbed his wallet, they would find a card inside, and it would be a card saying that this person was a member to probably Antifa or BLM or some form or facet of the alphabet mafia this person would be a member of, because all of those groups support pedophiles. Those groups promote giving rights to pedophiles. So I wouldn't be surprised if this pedophile, this disgusting creep, if he was a member of one of those groups. New Yorkers agree. They say liberals are killing the city. But you know something? They've been killing the city for a very long time, haven't they? This isn't new. They defund the police and then create a 20,000-foot BLM mural on one of the roads there. This is the city that terrorists attacked. This is the city that we all collectively supported during 9/11. But now the Taliban are good and the parents are the terrorists. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All right. Crime's rare in Japan. We talked about that. Crime isn't so rare in New York, but it's getting worse and worse. But there's only one place on the list right now. One place that's even more disgusting than New York. Oh, Ben Franklin. I believe Ben Franklin is from there. He wouldn't be happy, though. I could be wrong. I think he's from Philly, right? Is Ben from Philly? Anyway, let me know. Tell me down below in the comments section. But Ben Franklin, if he was from Philly, if he is from Philly. Look, I studied a lot of history. There's a ton floating around up in this noggin, so things get mixed up. I'm probably right. I'm usually not wrong, but I'm second guessing myself. So I'm going to let you let me know. All right. Philly is hell. Let me repeat. Philadelphia is hell. All right. Philadelphia. I'm going to say it again, Philadelphia. There are demons living among you. Fire, brimstone, hell on earth, Philadelphia. All right? Listen, and I'm sure you've heard the story. A man was charged with raping a woman on a train outside Philadelphia as fellow passengers watched. They held up their phones and didn't. This makes me so mad. It makes me so mad that I have to whisper. I'm irate. I'm Joe, but I'm going to hold my hands like this to my side, like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. And I'm going to hold my hands up here like the great Cornholio. I'm going to say, I'm so mad I have to whisper like Joe Biden. I'm really pissed. I'm in all seriousness, people did nothing. All right. When you hear, look, you're probably thinking, oh, this guy jumped on. This was a 1-minute thing. People were shocked. And then when they all noticed, he ran off the bus. No, I'm sorry. 24 train stops, ladies and gentlemen. 24 train stops. 27 stops later, this man was apprehended by transit police and only reported by a transit officer that noticed or saw it dozens of stops into this. Nobody did a thing. Nobody did a thing. This guy, I can't even, how do you even say his last name? It's spelled Ngoy. I'm gonna go with the Vietnamese rule and say Noi. All right. But I don't think, I've seen his picture. I don't think he's a Noi, but his name is Fiston Noi. He's 35. He's 35. The groper from the bus, the guy that was touching himself and showing his little wee-wee to little kids, to a 9-year-old girl. Gosh, that makes me sick. That guy was between 35 and 42. These are all people from my generation. So what has happened? What are they a product of? What have they been teaching people? Where is this going? Where does it start? Where does it begin? This man should have been beaten to death on the train by bystanders. Every single person on that train should be prosecuted. Every single person on that train should go to jail. But they won't, because Philly law, bystanders don't have to do a thing. And if they do a thing, they're not liable. They did nothing. They're not liable for nothing. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's getting in trouble. They're all innocent. They can all go watch that film later. They can all upload it to some video site. Nothing's going to happen to them. And this poor woman who was raped for 27 train stops, in Philadelphia, has to live through this hell forever. And God forbid she speaks up against immigration or against rapists or against the alphabet mafia, against anybody. Her rape will be discounted. She will be shamed and she will be thrown in the garbage. These people are hypocrites. These people are desensitized. And they've been desensitized by technology, by social media, by cell phones, and by the wicked, evil, socialist Democrat Party. I mean, what's wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Let me ask you a question. Tell me right now, look at me in the eye, listen to me, hear these words. If you were on a train, you, my friend, and you saw this guy grab this woman on the train and start raping her, would you sit there and do nothing? Even worse, would you pull your phone out and film it? Or would you have the courage? Would you stand up tall and be an American, do the right thing, and put your boot across his face? That is what should have happened. That is what didn't happen. When people no longer care about other people, the devil wins. Plain and simple. The devil wins. Plain and simple. We need to find out where this starts. We need to find out how to fix it. Maybe it starts in the schools.